y'all, it's West Virginia History with Mrs. V, and today we are going to talk about Canaan Valley, which is in Tuckered County, and it is an amazing place to visit. There's so much to see and do, whether that be in Thomas or Davis or Parsons, or outside of that in places like the Canaan Valley State Park or Blackwater Falls State Park. And so this is a perfect playground for a weekend trip or a week-long trip, and there's just so much to see or do. You can just stay within the confines of Tuckered County and just have an amazing experience. So Abby's going to tell you more about Canaan Valley, and if you want to learn more online, check out gettuckered.com. I had to say Get Tuckered.
Hello, today I'm going to be talking about places to eat, places to stay, places to shop, historic things to see, and things to do in the Canaan Valley region of West Virginia that you can go to for like a weekend getaway, or you could probably make these into a week-long trip if you really wanted to. So the first place we're going to talk about to stay is the Riverfront Resort, which is in Elkins. It's about $50 to $100 a night depending on how many beds you want and how many people you need to accommodate. And next we have the Cooper House Bed and Cocktail, which is in Thomas, and it's also about $60 to $100 a night. Just again, you know, they serve, I believe they serve breakfast there, and just again, the price depends on how many people you have that you're traveling with. And then the Timberline Ski Resort is in Davis, and it's also $60 to $100. Great thing about that is that if you go in the winter months, you can ski there, which we'll talk about later in the video. The Inn at Canaan is also in Davis, and it is about $135 a night. So it's definitely like the high point on this list, one of the higher end ones. And then we have the Bright Morning Inn at Davis, which is about $120 to $160. Once again, depending on what price point the price point depends on how many people you're traveling with and just where the location is. Then we have the Billy Motel, which is a new one that's on the rise. It's been getting a lot of good reviews online. It's a newer motel, and they book out like months and months in advance, so you would definitely have to look into that and make sure you schedule it months in advance because they book up fast. And it's about $120 a night, I believe. And it's a really cool story because the people that own it, they took an old motel and like renovated it, and it's like this really nice hipster place now. And then you have Blackwater Falls. They have cabins and just different, they have campsites there too that you can stay at, but if you're going to stay at one of their campsites, you would have to bring your own camping gear or just like a camper or something like that. Next, places to eat, the Hickory Dining Room, which is in Davis. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're open from like 7 to like 5, I think. And then Milo's Cafe and Restaurant, which is also in Davis. They have soup, salads, and one of the things that they're most known for are their great burgers. The Big Belly Deli, which is in Davis, they do takeout. They serve like cold cuts, different things like that, and just like a great place to stop if you need a quick lunch or a bite to eat real quick before going on to your next adventure. The Hellbender Burritos, which is in Davis. They have great tacos, burritos, and a plus about them is that they have vegan options. So if you're vegan, sometimes it can be hard to find places that accommodate to your dietary needs. And so this would be a great option if you're vegan or vegetarian or anything like that. Next is the Breakfast Nook, which is in Davis. They have free Wi-Fi, which people say is a plus if you are like working online during your vacation. Or something like that. And then they also have great home-cooked breakfast. That's what people rave about. Then Serrani's Cafe in Davis, they have pizza that they make right there on their in the restaurant on their wood stove, and just different Italian foods, lasagna, spaghetti, really anything Italian you could want. Then they have Picnic Tacos, which again is kind of like the Billy Motel. It's a newer place, up and coming, and they are known for their tacos, and it's just a really on the rise place, hipster place, and all the reviews online, locals love it and people say it's great. Also, a side note is that the Mountaintop Convenience Store is known for having the best pepperoni rolls in West Virginia, so if that's something you are into, you should definitely check them out because they are rated #1 in West Virginia for their pepperoni rolls. places to shop, Wild Ginger and Spice in Davis. It's like a hippie type of shop. They have spices, jams, honey, just different like homemade knickknacks that people make and they bring to Wild Ginger and Spice, and they can sell it there. So you're really helping the local people there and really just getting their name out as well. Then you have the ski barn at Davis. This is just for like if you forgot your ski gear or you wanted to rent some, or you've never been skiing before and you kind of just wanted to get into it. You can rent ski gear there, or you can buy your own. Then you have the Emerald Tree Boutique in Davis. It's a clothing and they have little knickknacks there like souvenirs. If you wanted to get something to remember your trip by, that would definitely be the place to go. Again, they sell like kind of like Wild Ginger and Spice. They sell honey, jams, different things like that. Then you have downtown Thomas. That's a really neat place. They have a bunch of different little shops there. Again, just little knickknacks, a lot of homemade stuff that people make right here in West Virginia, and they bring it to sell there in the little shops. Things to do. Now, when we're talking about things to do in the Canaan Valley, there is tons. I mean, honestly, that's why I'm thinking you could make a whole week-long trip out of this, or do several weekends, because it's just a lot of stuff to cover. But some options include Blackwater Falls, which is in Davis, and they actually have a loop that leads you down to the waterfall and then back up to the parking lot and right to the gift shop there. It's about a half a mile. I think it's like 0.4 miles, so it's definitely not a hard hike. If you're not a regular hiker, then you don't have to worry about it because it's a very easy terrain and easy to do. Then you have the Bear Rocks, which is at Davis. It's about a half a mile long loop, and it's beautiful scenery. I've been there myself. Or if you're an avid hiker like me, I did the 6.6 mile loop, which is obviously a little bit harder, but it's on like boardwalks and stuff, and it's definitely, the 6.6 mile loop is definitely something you want to do if you're into hiking, but if you're not, then you can do the half mile loop. And then skiing at the Canaan Valley Resort and Timberline Mountain Resort. It's about $65 a day at the Canaan Valley Resort, and then $75 a day at the Timberline Mountain Resort. So really just your preference there. I know people that have been to both and they love both places, say they're both great places to ski. So it's really just, again, your preference there on which one, on how much money you want to spend. You can hike at Dolly Sodras in Davis, and one of my personal favorites there is the Lion's Head Trail. I've been there twice, and both times I've loved it. I will say though, if you are hiking Lion's Head, it is definitely a difficult terrain, so if you are not a regular hiker, I would not recommend doing this trail because it is about 12 miles total. It's about 6 miles up and 6 miles back down. It's a really great view at the top, but like I said, the terrain is very rough. It's uphill most of the way, and it's very, very rocky, a lot of ankle turners. So if you are not used to hiking, it's not something you're into, then I wouldn't recommend doing it. And then you have the Little Canaan Wildlife Management Area at Davis, and you can do a lot of hunting and fishing there if you're into that. Just have to make sure you have your fishing and hunting license because you definitely don't want to get in trouble. And then you have biking at Canaan Valley in Davis. They have 20 plus miles of trail that you can do, and you can bring your own hiking gear, or not hiking, biking gear, and then you can also rent biking gear if you want to as well. Then you have Seneca Rocks and Caverns. It's about a 1.3 mile hike up to Seneca Rocks, so about 2.6 miles total. It is straight uphill, so it's definitely something you would want to look into if you think you can do it or not, because like I said, you will be walking uphill for the majority of the hike. But it's definitely a great view at top, and it's definitely worth it. They have shows at the Purple Fiddle restaurant almost every night. It's sometimes like $20 a ticket, I think, if you want to buy it in advance. I think it's $10 a ticket, and then if you get there, if you want to buy it when you get there, it's like $20 a ticket. Yeah, they have them almost every night. You just have to check on their website. They have a whole schedule. I think the next one coming up is like May 22nd. So definitely look into that. And for historic places and sites to see, the Fairfax Stone site, which it's actually really cool because it marks the boundary between West Virginia and Maryland. So it's been something on my bucket list that I would want to go see, and so you should definitely check it out if you were in the Canaan Valley region. And then Cultural's Opera House. I'm not sure if they're still in operation today, but people say that it's a very cool place to go and tour. So if that's something you're interested in, you have to check it out. That is all that we have today, and I hope you guys take some of these ideas into consideration when planning a vacation to the Canaan Valley region, and hope you have fun.
Thanks, y'all, for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to West Virginia History with Mrs. B on both Facebook and YouTube.